I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Eligwe, heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes, not behind you. You will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
They can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you see you try somebody's secret, when you like, you try a secret. When you like it's in public, what stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try and you secret. When you like, you try in private. They are killing my people. They are killing my people. They are killing they are killing my people. After killing my people, you tell me all the time in secret. The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a man. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
the meaning of discovery, it means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun. Yeah, thank you for joining in. Welcome to the broadcast today. And I say good day to you wherever you are found, wherever you are, all over the nations of the world. I want to thank you for joining. Today is the second day of March 2023, and we're moving ahead far ahead, and very, very quickly too. I want to say thank you to you all for joining, wherever you're joining from and watching from. Please, as you join in, just like the video and send it on all your social media platforms, and let people also join in here to hear the gospel of truth. And of course, the truth makes free. And so that is why it is very important that we always publish the truth. I've not been, here. I wasn't here yesterday. Obviously, yesterday, the result of the nondescript beast called Nigeria was announced. And, those who are to jubilate are jubilating. And those who are sad are sad. Those who are angry. And of course, that's what you expect from a system that is very destructive. I'm going to be analyzing the criticalness of what Nigeria represents and what Nigeria is to the people, and why we should understand the concept of bringing down Nigeria and making sure Nigeria ends. I want to tell you that we are a threatened race. We are endangered. We are in trouble. Except we begin to do the right thing, we might just find ourselves in a situation where global conspiracy would get us eliminated, and we're going to be cut off from the face of the earth. I want to welcome you as you join in. Please like the video and send on all your social media platforms. Today, I'm going to be playing some videos and to pass the message also through the videos. And at the same time, I'm also going to be speaking extensively about what Nigeria portends and what Nigeria is. And of course, the psychological trauma, or the trauma of what Nigeria has done to the people and how long lasting it is. And that is why we see these anomalies, and yet nobody, when things happen like this, you expect people to begin to reason well and to begin to react well. But here in the situation of Nigeria, people are so comfortable with what happens to them at every particular time. And they always have a reason to console themselves in that kind of situation and madness. It is critical because it is a trauma. That's why I call it traumatized inhabitants. Because the people of Nigeria are traumatized, and they have been put in a situation where they are helpless to the point where even those who come to help them are a threat to them. It's critical. I don't know whether you understand that. Nigerians are in a dilemma. They're in a situation where even those who come to help them are a threat to them. In fact, help is a threat to their existence. When you try to prefer solution, they see the solution as a threat. They see the norm as something that is inevitable. That means the situation they're going through as Nigerians as inevitable, and as something that they just have to cope with. Because trying to eliminate it or get rid of it or get it off it is like a threat to their existence and their lives. In fact, they feel that it is gruesome and not normal to find themselves being out of the situation, because being in the situation helps them to level up in their mind realm to a level where they tell themselves that at least at this level, I can just accept the fact that I am comfortable. And of course, it's painful, but I have to be comfortable on this level. It's abnormal, but I have to be comfortable. But because what I might try to seek, if I try to seek something better, it might be dangerous to my life or existence. So I just have to accept being what where I find myself. And it's a dangerous situation, because at this point in time, people have positioned themselves, at a point where they can be very, very the extinction. They're at the point of extinction, because that is when the devourers, the evil, the monsters, and the Fulanese and the British and all their agents would now capitalize on this to put them to, to shame and get them extinct. Now, so many things have been happening, but before I go into the things that have been happening, I want to say to you today that you should not be perturbed. You should understand that what is happening right now is designed by God to bring about Biafra. That doesn't mean that we all go to sit down saying that God is working on it. No. If we go to sit down, we're going to be in trouble. This is the time to work very well. I want to welcome you all for joining Onyeji. Chidindu. Thank you so much, Chidindu, for your message. Good day to you also. I appreciate you for coming and for joining also. I want to appreciate every one of you. We have few viewers today. Many people don't know that I'll be coming to talk today, but I know that as we go on, we're going to have, more people join us. And of course, after the broadcast, lots of people also watch after the broadcast. So I was supposed to come 5 p.m. Biafra time today, but I decided to come on today. I'm so fagged out. I'm tired. You can see it on my face, but it's okay. It's fine. I have to do the job of him that sent me while it is there. Thank you so much, man. Good to have you. Good day. Good afternoon, bro. Kelechi Ambrose. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you wherever you're joining from. I want to thank you all. Now, let's go into this the broadcast of today and the expression of this beast, this indescript beast. What does it mean to be indescript? That means it can't be described. When something can't be described, it is indescript, nondescript, indescript. If you look at the book of, let me relate it to something fundamental in the Bible. If you go to the book of Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7 and verse 8, you're going to see the description of a particular beast that is indescript, talking about iron teeth, and having 10 horns, having 7 heads, and several kinds of expression that you cannot understand how the description goes, and how you just wonder how this beast could look like. The beast is mentioned in Daniel chapter 7. Of course, what we're talking about here now, we're not saying that Nigeria is what is being talked about in the book of Daniel or in the book of Revelation. No, we're only trying to give an analogy using that chapter of the Bible or from the scripture, giving an analogy of that. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7, verse 8, verse 17 also expresses this beast. And of course, verse 23 and 24 also expresses and gives definition and insight to the beast. Even in the book of Revelation and Revelation chapter 12, Revelation chapter 12, I think verse, is it verse 8, 9 or so? And from verse 8, read it down there, and then you look at Revelation chapter 13, verse 1, 2, and also Revelation chapter 17, Revelation chapter 17, and from verse 8 to 17. So you're going to see a description of this beast, but of course, we are not saying that what is written in the Bible is about Nigeria. No, I'm just giving you an analogy of a kind of beast and how it looks like and how it is expressed. It has a form that is not natural. Now, why I'm relating this, to Nigeria is, first, let's go to, before we begin to talk about that, let's go into what has been happening so far in Nigeria. Of course, today we hear the announcement of Tinubu as the president-elect. I told you people last week, Monday, that Tinubu is going to be the winner, because that is the calculation. That is what has been designed. I told you people, I expressed it that last week, Monday. If you remember, we were talking critically about this, and I tried to give you an analogy of how Tinubu has been chosen to be the one. And I told you how the plan is and what they're going to do for Atiku. They're going to just settle him, give him contracts, give him oil well, and whatever he wants and all of that. He's going to play along. He's going to play along. And I told you that Atiku and Tinubu are the ones who are going to front this thing. And I told you that Tinubu is actually like a leaf, he's just a box. He's just there occupying space. The real controller of the system, of the government, is going to be Shettima, because Shettima is the strongest of the two contestants, Atiku and Shettima, the two of them. Shettima seems to be the strongest because he has the capability of delivering for the Fulani nation. The Fulanization program. You heard his discussion with Amosu in 2014, there when he was expressing, his heart, his deep-seated hatred for the Biafra people, and of course expressing all of this stuff, and talking about how they would deal with the Igbos or the Biafrans and all of that. Shettima is the man to go for the job, and according to the calculation, Shettima definitely is the one who actually has. I told you last week Monday, and of course you see it. You have seen it now. Announced yesterday. Tinubu has taken, that the presidency. He has been selected to do the job. Now I want people to understand, because I'm going to express how Nigeria is a beast, an indescript beast, and how it has psychologically affected the minds of the people. What is trauma? Trauma is we have different definition of trauma, but when we talk about psychological trauma, we're talking about a psychological wound that may take a long time to heal. That's if it's going to heal at all. And in the situation of Nigeria, it is not easy to heal, because the people themselves are actually afraid of healing. And so they keep cutting themselves and cutting themselves and cutting themselves. And so the injury is sustained. So it is a critical situation in the context of Nigeria. Now we see that Tinubu has been given the mandate to, by the Caliphate and Britain to actually control the contraption. Not to lead, to control the contraption. And by extension, it's Shettima being the one who has actually been chosen for this task of complete Fulanization. And the critical thing here is that the trauma that our people have experienced is actually stopping them from really seeing far. But we're going to go into that later. Now you have seen that Rishi Sunak has come to congratulate Tinubu, you see, of course we have the US president have congratulated, and so many presidents of the world have congratulated Tinubu. That tells you that they don't care about what you think. They don't care. They just want it to look like everything is peaceful, and then let the winner, which they have selected, be mentioned. And as soon as that is mentioned, they would now endorse it by their congratulatory message, so that from that point, everybody who is in the contraption Nigeria would be afraid of taking further action, and know that whatever action they are taking, the international community is not interested in that action. For the fact that they have come all out to congratulate Tinubu tells you that they are not interested in the outcome. In less than 24 hours, they have congratulated him. They don't care what has happened. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about what you think. They don't care about whether you want to challenge the election, whether you want to do anything. They are not concerned about it. What they're concerned about is that they have succeeded in, and please, I am on a live broadcast. I'll call you after the live broadcast. Please, I'll call you after the live broadcast. I'll call you. Thank you. So they don't care about it, because what they are concerned about is that they have gotten someone. They have been able to successfully have this thing run, on that, the way they want it. And of course, since it has been run that way, the way they want it, they make sure that it's at least the election held. And their interest is let the election hold. Whether no matter how it holds, let it just be made mention. BBC coming out to say it's held, and people came out. Let people just come out. Whether people are killed, it's not our business. Whether ballot boxes are snatched, it's not our business. Whatever happens is not our business. But let's just have the fact that election held and people came out, and there were collation. People things were thumb printed. The ballot papers were thumb printed. Whether children were thumb printed, whatever is happening, it's not their business. Let it just be made mention that there is an election, and then they will just come all out and congratulate the one who have been anointed by them to take the mantle of control of the contraption. And that's what they have done. That's why you see that's why you see what is happening. So let me go to the messages that we have here. You're welcome, my father, my brother. Thank you so much, Chidindum. Thank you so much, Chidindum. Thank you for that message. I appreciate you. I appreciate it so much. I'm Margaret Jogwe. Thank you. Good day, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you. Good day to you also. And I see your thumbs up there. Mazi Kelechi, please, Biafra must come by all means. So yes, Biafra must come by all means. And that is why we are still doing what we're doing. That is why we're not concerned about the election. Now, the international community have congratulated Tinubu. And now the shocking thing is that we also have our people, Biafrans, so-called Biafrans, who also are helping them to propagate the gospel of slavery. Today, Chimamanda has come all out on BBC to make people still feel comfortable with the Nigeria contraption. You know, they know how to use these stooges who live among them, to whom they have given titles and given awards. And Chimamanda have received awards from them several times. And so she would always preach the gospel of slavery and use as a tool to make sure that her people continue to remain under the slavery mandate. What they are called to do is to always calm the nerves of the people, the traumatized people, and make them feel like, well, you are in this mess, but just relax. It is better to be in this mess than to be in the mess. I don't know whether you understand. It's better to be in the mess than to be in the mess. That means be in the mess, but just imagine you're not in the mess, but just remain in the mess, because if you try to do anything about the mess, you might end your life. So be in the mess, just imagine you are not in the mess. Let it be on the realm of your mind that you are not in the mess, but you are in the mess. And of course, being in the mess and thinking that you're not in the mess is more psychologically devastating, than somebody telling you that you're in the mess. Yes, accept the fact that you're in the mess, but you can also walk yourself out of the mess. And the energy that is exuded in being comfortable with a situation, the energy that is exuded is more, any negative energy that is exuded, being comfortable with a particular negative situation is more than the energy that is released to your mind that tells you that you can break away from that situation. In fact, you are less worked up when you decide to take action, deliberate action, to free yourself of evil or of any kind of situation. You are more worked up when you accept the fact that you're in that situation and you just want to be comfortable with the situation and being afraid of getting out of the situation. That's the fact. And that is why you see most people run mad. Most people just lose their minds. Most people just that's why in Africa, let me just restrict it to the zoo, the contraption called Nigeria. That's why we have so many people having mental problems. You know why? Rather than exuding energy to think about positive ways of getting themselves free, they becloud their minds with the false energy, the negative energy of allowing themselves to relax in that situation, and it eats them up inside of them, eating them up until sometimes they lose their mind, they die on time, they get ailments, they get so many situations, and they get messed up in their lives, and they transfer anger to their generation. You see some people, when they beat up their children here, you wonder if they truly gave birth to these children. It's transfer of aggression. There is a situation bugging their mind. There's a particular, it comes from generation to generation. Their father treated them like that. They have to treat their children like that. And they believe that is the only way they can exude energy or free their mind of this burden. And the more they do that, the more their mind is beclouded with the energy of falsehood and evil. Because the more they do this, the more they get frustrated. And in the midst of all of these, you see how people kill their family members, kill their wives, kill their husbands, kill their children for sacrifice, do lots of things. And of course, out of anger, lots of things. Some people are stabbed, lots of things happening because a very negative energy is in the air. It is affecting the people. So it is very critical for us to understand what Nigeria represents and what it portends. Nigeria is an indescript beast. It's a beast that you cannot describe because you don't know how to look. You look here and you look here. You have so many things to describe Nigeria about, but yet you don't know how to place the description. It is so evil that it has made over 200 million people of less value. It is so evil that it has made a world a reference of evil. Now, the world where Nigeria is located has become a cynosure of evil, so that the world now, the globe now generally, has now devised means of continually keeping the context of evil and sustaining evil by creating more evil, because the people in the contraption of evil have refused to do something about that evil. Now, Chimamanda have come all out on BBC today, being a Biafran, so-called Biafran. She has come all out to tell the people to come down, that at least they have been able to prove that that the mandate of the people will count. See the way they have now. Her narrative and her argument is this: that they have been able to shake the contraption, and they have they shook the contraption, and so by the way they organized themselves and came out to vote, and even if the vote was not the mandate was not given to them, it is a proof that better things are coming. Now you can imagine how evil the minds of people are, especially because they are Nigerians. Now, when you call yourself a Nigerian, you work the program of evil, the program of Satan. Now, Chimamanda comes on BBC to tell the people this kind of thing, now you see the reason why the international community always give these people awards, not because they are very brilliant. What does Chimamanda know? If you listen to her talk, if you listen to her analysis, you know she just wrote books. For God's sake, the books I'm writing are the list of the books I'm writing is, I'm not bragging here, but I'll tell you, my psychological impute into the book is more than what she has imputed, because I could predict the way she goes in a narrative. Now, but she's been given awards because they are given awards so that they would be able to be used at any time to sell the narrative of the globe and, of course, sustain the narrative of their evil on the zoo. Now, let me tell you this. Most people whom you see that are called celebrities today are not celebrities because they know so much, or they're very good at what they do. If you listen to some of their music, you wonder. If you listen to some of their write-ups, you wonder. But because you know what? This international community, and of course, those people who have influence or some kind of connection all over the world, or some of these agents, all this music company that labels and all of that, would always brand you and sell you and make you an image in the globe so that you can be used as a tool whenever they need you. Some of them go into different kinds of ways to become popular and all of that. They go into different things, including those who are into movies, those who are into music. Of course, I'm seriously critically in music, even in the movies also. So I know what happens in those places. The people get all of these awards not because they are very good, but because they need to position. They go into some kind of agreement, contract, and oath to sustain the agreement of what they do, like the Illuminati and all of that. They go into all of these to sustain the concept of that agreement and to sustain the influence of these labels over their lives. And so when they're given all these kinds of positions and awards and all of that, they are given because they need to give, human beings naturally, or humans naturally have this desire to be well known and to be popular and to be regarded and respected and to be positioned high in the midst of their peers and in the globe. They want to. That is why you see somebody go into power. They struggle to come down. They struggle to give up power. They struggle, because they don't want to lose that power. You see somebody going to be. You can remember when Obasanjo was given a kind of power in 1999. He wanted to go on a third term. That is how you see when you meet a greedy human being, they can be very deadly. And that is why you see that most people who are into rituals are very deadly. They can use anybody. You saw a particular video of a small boy who took his friend to somewhere, said he wanted to do money rituals and all of that. They told him now that his friend that he brought should be the one they're going to use. And he was so excited. His friend was begging him. He said, no, they should use the guy. Until the man now turned and said, the juju now says that he that brought the guy is the one that the juju needs. So that this friend that he has brought now, that he is saying that the friend should be used, is not the one to enjoy the money. Oh, the guy went, no, I don't want to die. He was now begging his own friend. Now you see, and these are boys of 13 years old, 12, 13, 14 years old boys. And now you see the heart of man is so evil and so wicked. So you see that kind of expression. Now, Chimamanda goes to BBC and she begins to make the people feel comfortable. Now they are being given an award to sell the narrative of the contraption. Now let me ask you, why is it that most people who are very talented and gifted are not always popular? Ask yourself that question. Because at the point of seeking popularity, there are some the world order has designed, the system in a way that if you want to be popular in music, there are some certain people you are going to meet. It's called industry. And those are the people who are going to promote you and push you. If they don't push you, you can never be popular. both in the so-called gospel music. So this set of people have been designed and created, put there. If you go to the movie industry also, it's still the same thing. They call it movie industry. There are people who are dons in that angle. If they don't push you, you can't go. And before they push you, you must swear oath. You must join their cult. They must, of course, sex is part of the cult. They mandate sexual abuse and sexual covenant is part of it. And of course, some critical sacrifices and all of this. So these are the things. That is why you see that no matter how you struggle, sometimes in music, most of our people struggle. Some are in music. Some of them are very good actors or actresses. They can't go anywhere. They are being suppressed by the forces in those industries because they must subject themselves. Now, most of you have heard the story about the Buckingham Palace and what goes on there. I am not here to talk about Buckingham Palace. That is how it is. The cult, there is this cult that rules and governs, and the world order has been put in that situation. That if you have a particular gift or talent, you must belong to a clique to make yourself known all over the nations of the world. And if you want to make yourself known in that regard, you must make sure you do their bidding so that you can be endorsed. Ask somebody like Michael Jackson. You guys know the story of that guy. So many people, and all of that, so many of them. Some of them who refuse to go in that line, they now become blackmailed. Some of them are blackmailed, or even if they are not blackmailed, they use their weaknesses against them and then put them in the dungeon. They use their weaknesses against them. Some of them are not blackmails anyways. Some of them are true, but because they made mistakes in some places or they did something evil, which people in their clique do, they get away with it. But if you're not in that clique, you do it. Someone like R. Kelly, for instance. You see the way he was brought down. Now he's going to be out of jail when he's 80-something years old. That is how it is. When you are not in the clique and you are too gifted, you might shine, but they would make sure that they bring you down. They know how to set you up. They set you up and you will commit that crime. And as soon as you commit the crime, you will get into trouble. But the people in their clique are committing those crimes regularly, yet nothing happens. They go free. They go free because you know why? That is part of the covenant. And what happens is that when Africans are put in this part of this covenant and given these awards, of course, they bring them into awards, nominate them, and do lots of things with them. When they are given these kinds of things, they would now be, Alenora says, good ones should start forming cliques. But, that is why they impoverish the people. Because, let me finish what I was trying to say initially. I said, I've forgotten it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, let me go on what you're saying, Alenora. Now, the problem is that they put people in poverty. So how do you think? You need money to sponsor a clique and to make that clique move ahead. They will suppress you. They will suppress you. And the funny thing is that they have put the people impoverished, made them put them in poverty so that they would be looking for how to survive. And when you bring them in the midst of a place where there is no money, they would run away because you know why? They feel they want to belong to a clique where there is money so that they'll be able to survive. Do you know how many times I've tried to bring gospel musicians together? Alenora, the first time I attempted to do that was in 2005, and trying to bring gospel musicians together. And because you don't have the kind of money that you need to sustain and to bring them together, they would end up, they are only coming to see what they can get from you. They are only coming to see what they will get from you. In fact, let me tell you guys, there is a particular gospel music body, that is Kingdom Music Foundation right now, that I was the secretary, until 2000 and, I was national secretary until 2000 and, when I left, I traveled, so I couldn't continue. I had to hand over to somebody else. I think I was the secretary for from the onset everybody who comes there is looking for, or not everybody anyways, but most of the people that are there are people who need help. And so when they come to the place, little help is given to them. At a point, the help does not come the way it's supposed to come, because more people come in and then there's no money to go around. Suddenly they begin to move away. The world knows that money is what decides the facts, or money is what establishes anything. So they have hijacked the resources. They have held the resources and given it to a few people, and then you must look for them. So no matter what you do for, oh my God, I wanted to say something. I don't want to say it because it would it will cause lots of problems. Money have become a factor that it is even destroying destroying noble organizations. Eleanor says Adazan says Kenya West. We are in a Western world. We will raise the money. It's not that easy, Eleanor. I'm telling you, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Unless we decide now, maybe as we're talking now, when we say we want to begin to have, build an organization where we're going to begin bringing our talented people and all of that together, and we're going to begin to promote them. It's not easy to promote these people. It's a huge sum. Media alone, media publicity alone, you will pay. But these ones are the owners of the media. These ones that have already created the clique and who have the cults, they are already in charge of the media. So when you go there, they want to charge you because you're not in partnership with them. Kenya West is back. He's back up. He gave them hell. Eleonora says, okay, I don't follow those guys because I don't know what their music does. So so I don't always follow them, but I know, I don't know. I think you guys can tell me more about him. Good people are put down easily, but one weapon works. Eleonora says, one weapon works. The weapon use their bad ones too. If people worship God like they worship money, there will be peace. How many? You see, we have been created to be emotional. We are created, and part of the work that we are, and part of what we are is being emotional beings. Now, just imagine you wake up in the morning, you don't find food to eat. By noon, you will be very hungry. It is. Even David himself said it, Lord, please bless me so that I don't even go to steal and disgrace your name. There is tendency of people being desperate to get something to eat. That is why they know it is a weapon. So globally in the world order, they take the monies and put in the hands of you. Now look at the Nigeria system. Do you know why they were able to rig this election very well? Simple. They just went to the economy. They went to the currency. They're in charge. They're in charge of the power. They withhold the monies. You would hustle to look for the money. By hustling, some of you will not be able to come out to vote. Now, I'm not endorsing the Nigeria election. I'm just giving you an analogy here now, right now. Okay, hunger. Yes, Eleonora says hunger, sabotage. Yes, that's it. That's it. So now they have the money. Now it is their party now that has the money. So during the election period, they have the money to give out. The other contestants don't have enough because they cannot access what the main party can access. So money goes around, billions of dollars, millions of naira, millions of dollars goes around from the people in control of the resources. It affects everything because the people must look for what to eat. So you see, the world system has designed it so that our people, some of our people, would now be awarded and given privileges to enjoy some benefits of the Western world. So when it comes to times like this now, they will now be the ones to be used as a propaganda against the people. Now you can imagine Chimamanda coming all out to say that you see, this election has proven that we can wake up. When we wake up, we can get results. So the next time we're going to be, we know that this is not fair. That the election was rigged, and all of that. We cannot, we don't have the facts, but we know that that something went wrong somewhere. They should try and make sure that these things are resolved. They just talk as if it is just it is not a serious problem. They will just politicize the whole thing and make it look very soft and make it just grease it, or maybe just coat it, sugar coat it, and make it look nice. But their main target is to sell a narrative to you and make you feel comfortable with the whole system. Now, let me play a particular video. Eleanor says it's good to analyze the political robbery so that people will learn and spot such in time. Yes, you're correct. Stella Uzuka says, Odekwaiwu, or my people. Lots of things are happening, honestly, in this globe that we're in. Lots of things are happening. I tell you, lots of things are happening. This is bothering me. How can Igbos be so wicked to forget how much Igbos that have killed? Daniel Njoko is saying here, please arise in unity for independence of Biafra. Now, let me tell you how traumatized from this Daniel statement. Now, let me go this way. Let me show you how traumatized people have become. Now, can you imagine that somebody that is why I say Nigeria is an indescript beast. Now, can you imagine that somebody came all out when he was governor, killed his people, killed those protesting for freedom? They were not armed. They were just carrying, placards, carrying flags, chanting, singing, praying. And that person comes all out, kills them, throws some of them in the river, kills most of them, dealt with them. His cohorts, like Wike and all of that, have been killing the people, dealing with them, fighting them, putting them in the cells, harvesting their organs, doing all of these things. And that same person would come all out to contest the same people he had killed, their brothers, their sisters, their loved ones, still come all out to say that he is the savior. He is the one that can save them. Oh, Lord, have mercy. The level of trauma is terrible. The stigma is massive. The level of mental damage that Nigeria has done to people cannot be quantified with anything. It is indescript. You can't describe it. How can someone kill your brother, kill your sister, kill your father, kill people close to you, and then the same people, the people who are victims of this evil, will still now come all out and take the person who did all of this evil and tell the person that you are the person that we love. You are the best for us. You are the person that can lead us. And somebody else comes, instead of killing you, he lost his mother, he lost his father, he lost his comfort, he lost his pleasure, he lost his house, he became a refugee, he became a fugitive, moving around, not being able to come into his land. He now was kidnapped, extraordinarily renditioned, and now put in jail, losing everything for you. You chose to now go and embrace the person who killed you and made you suffer, and supports the program that is destroying you, making you hungry, starving you, doing everything against you, bows to the caliphate that is destroying you. You chose to go and embrace him and says he is the Lord, he's the Savior. And you leave the one who sacrificed himself, who is sleeping on bare floor in DSS dungeon, who lost his father and his mother, who lost his brothers, his cousins, his men, who lost people around him, lost his comfort, denied of his family, cannot move freely because he has to be careful. Now, let me show you what, let me remind you, everyone, what Peter Obi did.
Come back to Zoo River once again to ask the whole world to please help us prevail upon Jonathan to compel them to release the results of the autopsy. We want to see the Senate result, and that will also form part of our tweets tomorrow. Peter Obi is a murderer. Peter Obi killed these people. He killed them in cold blood. Peter Obi is the only governor to have ordered the mass execution of his own people, and also ordered for their bodies to be buried in a mass grave. We can never ever forget these people. A Zoo River must be revived. We need the whole autopsy, not part of it. And P2B must be held to account. P2B, in case you know him, is a mass murderer, he's a killer. A Zoo River is...
Now, if we don't understand the level of madness that is happening in our system based on the destructive tendencies or the destructive, the destructive ability and the level of destruction that Nigeria has done to the psyche of our people, then this particular audio would reveal to you. Now, the person who is talking is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, telling you about someone who killed you, threw you into the river, did lots of things against you, caused you pain, killed your brothers, your sisters, your family members. And yet, you all come out en masse. Both the people that he killed, their brothers and sisters, they come all out en masse. They say that this is the man that must come to deliver them. This is the man they want. This is the man that should save them. This is the man that I don't understand why Igbos should be clamoring on one Nigeria. Stella Uzuka. That is what we're saying here. Now, they are talking about, now you can imagine the level of damage. Don't you see that most of our people are suffering from mental problem? Now, because I want us to reason. Now the reason for this is for us to, because I want this broadcast also to reach those people who have been part of the election, who have voted and all of that, so that we will know what we are doing from now together, and we'll know whether we are normal or we are abnormal or something is wrong with us. How can a man who have murdered you come all out on a platform to say he wants to lead you, and you would go and vote for him to lead you? I don't know where these kinds of things happen. All over the world, even when somebody steals and he is indicted as a criminal, he is jailed. He is not allowed to partake in politics again. He is dealt with by the laws of the land. Here you are, the man who killed you and killed you over and over and again, over again and again. Even the one that stole your mandate on Saturday on the 11th, they will still go and vote for him. Now, it's unbelievable. It's something beyond what we can understand. Now, let's now tell you the extent of damage that Nigeria has done to some people, to the point where you begin to wonder that even this kind of news, yet nobody said anything about it. Nobody wrote petition. Nobody is doing anything about it. Everybody's now going back to normal. Well, let's believe the courts, the case should go to the courts, and the courts, the law will take its course. Now I begin to ask, somebody was talking on BBC, in BBC this morning, and the person said that let the courts, let the courts, let the law take its course. Let the court treat this matter, and justice be justice be served. And I began to wonder, which justice, which court? Which court? Is it the court that refused to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Is it the court that could not enforce the pronouncement? Is it the court that is having its makeup in a particular constitution that is flawed, that is destroyed, that is not part of it, and all of that? I don't want to go into that. By tomorrow, I'm going to go into those debts and all of that. But today, I'm not going to be talking about constitution and all of that. But I want to play something here.
It is very difficult to determine by mere appearance who is a minor or not. Most of the ones you are seeing, maybe their genetic, their growth rate might be impaired. It is very difficult to determine by mere appearance who is a minor or not. Most of the ones you are seeing, maybe their genetic, their growth rate might be impaired.
Now, when we say that Nigeria is an indescript beast, I don't know how else we are going to analyze this thing, honestly. Eleanor says Gumi is asking LP to go to court. Now, you see, what was he saying, please? Stella Zuka. Okay, now let me explain that video. Let me explain that video for those who don't understand that video. Now, the man was being asked a question about those children that were having voters card and voting in the north. You know, those ones, you know, those children that, you know, flying all over social media, you know, and, you know, Everest, the middle says the Biafrans need to come together, summon courage and take their freedom. The situation. Is this the first time we've been talking about it? We have been talking about it before now, my brother. The situation the Biafrans find themselves in this Muslim ticket is very, very dicey. It's not about, you see, we're still getting this. It's not about Muslim, whether Muslim ticket or whatever. We're talking about a decision to annihilate a race of people, a decision to Fulanize, Islamize, and commit genocide. These people are all out for the destruction of the indigenous people so that they can take over the resources, because that is their interest. They have said it several times that Allah has given them the land. If we understand these things, we will not even be talking about religion in this regard, because we know that religion is even the basis in which they are carrying out this evil. So it is not about whether they brought Muslim ticket or all of that, because that is in fact the game that even brings about this whole thing, this whole terrible situation that we're in. Now, after all, if you talk about Christian ticket, the person you are calling a Christian is also a servant to this Fulanis. The man who calls himself Peter Obi, he is a servant to Atiku and all of that, and he takes orders from them. He goes there to be endorsed. So it's not about whether Christian or Muslim, it's about the agenda, because the agenda is what gives you a knowledge of what the religious angle of it, you know, portrays and gives and offers. So it is the agenda that reveals the concept of that application of religion as a means of achieving the agenda. You understand it, Everest? So that's the fact here. So let's leave the issue of ticket, Muslim ticket or whatever, Muslim Christian. That is not the game here. Is the religion is a tactical weapon used in this concept or in this regard to actually play on the psyche of the people, and that is why it has been very destructive all this while. They tell you Obasanjo is coming, he's a Christian. Obasanjo comes, gives Islam access and endorses Sharia for the North. He pretends as if he cannot, it's beyond his powers, because even in the constitution, he cannot stop it. Because the assembly, National Assembly, have been created and designed to make sure that it reflects more of the North, and they are more in population. So they make the decisions, they carry the votes, and they have more votes. They make the decisions and they endorse what they want to endorse and take away anything they want to take. For instance, the Electoral Act today, if you check it, it's very flawed. You cannot hold anybody who is criminal in election by the Electoral Act. They put it in a way that you could interpret a particular clause in a particular order, but yet can counter it in another order. So it is, you see, the whole concept of Nigeria is like an indescript beast. You can't just describe what it, you can't just describe the level of evil it represents. And that is why those who are product of Nigeria are traumatized. And the trauma is so great, so grave, that everything they do it to harm themselves. Now, Stella Ozuka, I was trying to make you understand, what that, that man was saying. Now, here he's been asked a question that children are voting. How come children are voting? His response is that you can't look at the appearance of somebody and tell whether they are children or not. That some of them are having impaired growth. That means they are stunted in their growth. And for God's sake, if you see someone who is stunted in their growth, wouldn't you know? So if you see a child, now a so-called police officer is trying to tell us that you see a child, you cannot tell the difference between a child and someone who has a stunted growth. I'm going to play that video again and let people hear him. I'm going to play it twice again so that you can understand it. For those who don't understand it, he's saying that you cannot tell whether somebody is a child because of how short they are, or whether the person is an adult. That most of these people whom you see voting are not children; they are actually stunted in growth. That means they had this problem of growth, that they couldn't grow. This dwarf nature and all of that, or what they also call them midgets, and all of that. So let me play it again. Let me play it again.
It is very difficult to determine by mere appearance who is a minor or not.
It is very difficult to determine by mere appearance who is a minor or not. It is very difficult to tell who is a minor by mere appearance. Oh my God! Let me play it.
It is very difficult to determine by mere appearance who is a minor or not. Most of the ones you are seeing, maybe their genetic, their growth rate might be impaired.
Most of the ones you are seeing, their growth rate might be impaired. So he just stood where he is and such some short people, and he concluded that these ones are not children. He has concluded his investigation. He has done everything. Just within hours of after election, he is coming all out to tell the people that you cannot say these people are not adults. Now, those people were not arrested. They were not kept somewhere to confirm. Let's just assume that he's so daft and his brain is stunted. His brain is impaired, or he has a dangerous mechanism working in his brain, and some maggots have eaten parts of his brain that is functional. And maybe let's just imagine that some wires have been disconnected in his mental faculty, and it is somewhere touching. Let's just imagine that he has lost his he has lost his sense of reasoning, and he is not a human being. He's actually a human inbuilt, just there. And let's just imagine that he doesn't have the ability to discern or to even visualize or to know who is a child and who is a midget. Let's just imagine that he has this problem. What do you do at that point in time? When you see such kinds of people that you cannot tell whether they are children or not, what you do is first keep them in custody, and then you allow an examination, an investigation to be carried out. Now, these guys have voted and they are gone. He now comes to tell you that these people are actually adults. You cannot tell that these ones are not adults because some people are having stunted growth. Some people are impaired in their growth because of their genetic, some genetic factors and all of that. They have situation about growth. Now you can imagine how do you describe Nigeria? Oh Lord have mercy! Please, I need somebody to describe Nigeria for me. I need somebody to describe Nigeria. I don't know how we describe this thing. It's crazy here. Jackie says, Mazi Nnamdi, I thank you for your tireless effort towards the restoration of Biafra. May God continue to strengthen and provide for you, and your heart desires to be granted. Amen. He say, thank you so much. Give it to them. Fulanis talk less and do more, but we talk more and do less. That's it. You're correct, Alenora, for that. Very, very, very correct. They talk more. They talk less and do more. We talk too much. We are too loquacious. We just keep talking. But what we can't do, we're talking. We keep exposing ourselves. And yet we always want to prove that we are very intelligent. Whereas the Fulanis are consulting the higher realm, where they get their Britain. That's where they get their intelligence. They help them design. They even contract some of our people who talk too much to their camp, who help them reason out things and put things together. Now, Adazar says a real evil entity, satanic. I need a real evil entity, and I need more description. I need people to express what is an indescript beast. When you talk about beast, you talk about a very dangerous and something that is not something that you cannot relate with. And now this one is indescript. That tells you that you can't even describe it. Any way you look at it, you just wonder what kind of entity is this? How can you have a force man in the force speaking this kind of abomination from his mouth? Alenora says, honestly, Igbo's will provide Nigeria president in 16 years to come. Madness in the highest order. Eleanor says Peter Obi was used by Britain to play on the emotions of the Igbos. Don't you see the way he has fulfilled his mandate and he's doing what he's doing right now? Chai, Arumere, my people. Stella Uzuka says, Uzuka, sorry. Stella Uzuka. Yes, I actually look like a 12-year-old. Oh my God. And that's why I actually look like a 12-year-old. Oh Lord have mercy, please. You see, I'm so pained in my heart about Nigeria. And what pains me is that our people are still being used to actually, if we don't determine to leave Nigeria, I tell you, we are going to suffer. If we don't take steps with what we are seeing right now. Now, can you imagine that people are still talking about going to courts? The enemy is telling you to go to court. You too, you are saying to yourself, you will go to court. Don't you think that the enemy knows that in the courts, they are in control? And that you cannot get anything out of the courts? You have seen the process of the courts, how it has played out in issues. Yet, instead of you to tell yourself the truth that this Nigeria is not working for me, you are telling yourself that it can work. Let's go to court. I'm tired of this situation, Edith Nedu says. Stella Zuka says, Chai, Zu Alani. Edith, Stella Zuka says, Edith, I'm tired of the situation too, my sister. Oh my God, I don't know. Stella Zuka says, all we're saying, give us Biafra. They can't give it. We have to take it by force. Honestly, good afternoon, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Floxy. Good to have you. It's been a while. I saw you, Nina. Thank you for joining. Please, let's like this video and circulate it. We need people to hear this message. Very, very critical. There are some things that we actually have to let people hear. Agreed. Eleanor and Peter Obi. Lane says, Lane, good to see you here. Thank you so much. Edith Nedu says, he said, God bless you, my brother. Thank you so much. You say, thank you, and God bless you too. Yes, they pay heavily for consultation on subjugation. Yes, they pay heavily for consultation and all of that. Mazi, I mean the Igbos should stop fighting themselves, but rather should join forces and fight the common enemies, which is the Fulanese. Yes, you're correct, Everest Meadow there. But of course, our people will not do that. Those who are eating from the, making their monies will not do that. So we have to forcefully do what we have to do. Even Gumi is screaming court. Oh my God, Eleonora says Gumi is screaming court. You can imagine. Onyech says the so-called election is an eye-opener to them that do not believe in our freedom movements. How many of them do you think have seen the lights? They are still talking. Now let me bring you now to another video of a particular. This one, I don't know what to call him. But first, he wanted to be an instrument to brainwash. You see, sorry, please. There are some people, we need to begin to treat some people the way we should treat them. Because our people have become so wicked that they prefer to help the devil sell his goods. Now listen to this particular video. Before I play another video of his, listen to this manipulating video. Now, this man called Magnus, trying to manipulate the minds of the people because of his evil heart against Biafra. He says, in spite of everything that has happened is so wicked, it's so evil, it's so this, it's so that, but please don't talk about Biafra. Let's not bring Biafra into this scene. Watch it.
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Nigeria is translating into the most confusing dynamics, and I like to use this special occasion to talk to every Igbo man in Nigeria. I know most of you are businessmen. That is not to take anything from your intelligence.
Now I have to stop this video here. I'm going to play it now, but because I saw a particular comment, that's why I just stopped it. I want to talk about Kelechi. What do you want Peter Obi to say if he keeps mute? Now, for the fact, you see, sometimes I wonder, Corey, I think you're from Iguacha area, also the one they called Port Harcourt. I think that's where you're from. He said if he keeps mute, it will be obvious that he actually worked with Britain against his voters. Now, I don't understand how, you see, our reasoning is very, 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 some of us need to be checked. Now, do you think that Peter Obi is just doing all of this work on his own and he doesn't know what he's doing? For you to say that, what do you want Peter Obi to do? Or you don't know that Peter Obi knows that he's not going to win? Now, is it that you don't know that Peter Obi also knows that he's working for the British? He went to Chatham House, like other candidates. They went there to pay their obeisance and to give their word that any of them, this is what you will do. This is the game. Tinubu will win, but please, this is how the game will go. And they gave them the way they will do it, who they prefer, and they tell them what to do and tell them their benefits. Give them all of this stuff. Now you're coming to, you are here, you're saying that what do you want Peter Obi to do? Do you think that Peter Obi thought about you when he was going for this? We are telling you that Peter Obi is part of the game. We're not telling you that Peter Obi should have done anything. We're only telling you that Peter Obi is part of the game. They planned this thing together and they decided who's going to win. And he has already gotten his contract and the monies and the things he's going to make. So, yes, thank you so much, Lynn. Ramsey is trying to make it look like Peter Obi is a victim. I don't know. Please, we have to be very constructive in our reasoning. Peter Obi is not a victim. He's an accomplice. He is part of the game. Kelechi, what do you want Peter Obi to say? Lord have mercy. Yeah, this statement is just, the more I read it, the more I wonder. Ramsey, are you trying to say that Peter Obi is a victim? That he's shocked about everything? Or that you don't know, even as with what is happening to us and with the corruption in the Nigeria system, with the fact that Peter Obi is a killer and all of that, you think that, and as a mafia he is, they still gave him the mandate to come and deceive you, and you don't know that these things are all games, that even the criminals are used. Look at Tinubu. Tinubu is a criminal. Look at Atiku. He's a criminal. Look at Peter Obi. He's a criminal. Yet they projected these people before your face, and you are still, oh my God. Sonny says people are not asking where the 400,000 soldiers who came to Biafra land now disappeared to. They are strategically planning to Islamize the eastern side very soon. Igbo, be on alert and wake. Sonny, thank you for that. No, Kelechi, you got me wrong. Reread it again. I've been rereading it. No, that is what he was told to say, bro. Okay, please try to make, because your statement contradicts what you're saying now, Ramsey. You said, what do you want Peter Obi to say? If he keep mute, it will be obvious that he actually worked with Britain against his voters. If he keep mute, it will be obvious that he worked with Britain against his voters. No, I don't think his keeping mute would have done any of that fact, done any of that. And in fact, there is no way he would have kept mute anyways, because he must say something. After election, you must say something. So he's not going to keep mute. So the game here is not whether he's going to keep mute or not, because he must say something. He's a contestant, according to the arrangement. So maybe Ramsey, you didn't actually mean a harm here. Okay, I'm trying to understand now that you don't mean a harm here, by your other statements. But the truth about it is that there's no way he would have kept mute. So he would still have talked. So there's no way he would have kept mute. So the fact that the issue of keeping mute does not even arise. So I'm understanding you now. He has to give his voters a reason to make it look as if he was a victim. Oh yes, you're correct. He has to. That is how they do it when they come. They make their statements. Look at Tinubu now coming to say, "Let's all work together." Lord of mercy. Let's work together. Let's work together. You have given me the mandate. Let's work together and build a great nation. That narrative has always been there. Oh my God, we are in a situation. I'm so full of words that I don't even know what to say. We are in a serious situation. I am telling you. And the situation is not because of the problem we have is not because of those cliques or that cult that is controlling the people. The situation is the people who have been brainwashed, fighting themselves against themselves, fighting those who are fighting for their freedom. Now let's listen to that video now. Listen to this man called Magnus. Now I don't like playing such kinds of videos to try to promote such kinds of people, but I want to, actually play this one because of the manipulation, the angle of manipulation it was coming from. And I want our people to see it, to see that manipulation in this man's statement. I think it's about how many minutes? Is it 5 minutes or so?
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka.
Nigeria is translating into the most confusing. Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Nigeria is translating into the most confusing dynamics, and I'd like to use this special occasion to talk to every Igbo man in Nigeria. I know most of you are busy.
Now, I want you guys to know that this guy, we know him anyways, he's a drunkard. He's a drunkard. So, you know, these guys who looking for, you know, situations that they will capitalize on to come and show their face and say rubbish. He's a drunkard. Two, observe the way he came in. He first made you feel that he is against Nigeria. He came with a statement that Nigeria is blah, blah, blah. Nigeria is this, blah, blah, blah. He makes you feel that Nigeria is nothing to write home about. Nigeria is an evil ground. Then he now comes subtly with his damaging idea and concept to manipulate your mind to think that you can still correct Nigeria. Now listen to him again. Before I go to the messages, listen to him again. Now this time around, I'm not going to interrupt it. I'm going to play it about 8 minutes. Just listen to him keenly, take the facts from his statement and understand how not only stupid he is, as at his age, he's very stupid. You know that at his age, he's just brainless. And at his age, he doesn't even think of redeeming his times he has wasted in the bar, drinking and all of that, and redeeming it for his children. He's still thinking about destroying the future of his children in Nigeria. Watch and listen.
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Nigeria is translating into the most confusing dynamics, and I'd like to use this special occasion to talk to every Igbo man in Nigeria. I know most of you are businessmen. That is not to take anything from your intelligence. You are the most intelligent, you are very intelligent, you're very beautiful people. But I want to use this opportunity to plead with you and beg with you. The situation of Nigeria calls for great wisdom. Do not, out of emotion, take the wrong step. The problem of Nigeria now is bought by everybody. Everybody is interested. I just saw a video this morning where women in Ekiti State are protesting the outcome of the election in Ekiti State. I also saw a video this morning where Igbo shops were burnt down in Ladipo Market in Lagos. These are just provocative steps to make sure that Igbos take an emotional step that will eventually culminate in them making mistakes. I want to tell every woman to be wiser. Be wise, be wise, be wise, be wise. This problem of Nigeria is not about Igbo, it's not about tribe. But our enemies want you to translate it to ethnicity, to religion. Once it becomes a religious affair or an ethnic affair, I trust you, it will take years to solve. So I'm begging every Igbo man, let's leave it the way it is. This is a political problem and we will solve it politically. Obasanjo just came up urging President Muhammadu Buhari and the INEC chairman to cancel the election. No uploading, no result. No beavers, no result. Clearly, this election is by far the worst election ever conducted in Africa. Nobody, nowhere in his right mind will accept this charade. The shenanigans of our traducers must end here. We've been taken for fools for too long. All I'm asking is, I'm begging every Igbo man, do not make somebody like me and Roboman think I'm fighting for a better Nigeria, whereas the Igbos are fighting for a Biafra. Do not make the people of Ekiti who came out yesterday morning to contest the outcome of that result feel that, well, after all, they are thinking of a better Nigeria. The people for whom we are fighting for are thinking of a Biafra. In Plateau State, we are waiting. The result of Plateau State have not been officially announced. Please. The moment you make this thing about ethnic affair, Nigeria will abandon you and say, okay, well, go ahead and do it the way you please. And I want every Igbo man to understand, I want every Igbo man today every Igbo man around Nigeria to understand today that you need allies. Even when I had my other page, I have always said this. You need allies. And there is no time in Nigeria, that Igbos have ever had the opportunity of creating allies. Benue State, I just got the result from Nasarawa State that Labour Party won Nasarawa State. Labour Party is going to win Plateau State. Labour Party won Ekiti State, but it was exchanged. All places that Labour Party won were exchanged. And people want to fight. But let this fight not toe the path of ethnicity. Let this fight not toe the path of religion. Because if you do that, dear Igbo brothers, you will lose. Let this be a political warfare where justice, fairness, and equity are the reason why we are fighting this fight. Not because we want Biafra, no election in Biafra land. They will try to provoke you. They will try to squeeze your actions from your emotions. And knowing that Igbos do not know how to react in a political atmosphere, knowing that Igbos are more or less the most emotional set of human beings in Nigeria, they believe that you will give reasons why people will say, after all, we wasted our time fighting for these people. Please, please. Everybody in Nigeria is scared because of the next step you will take. Yes, they burnt your shop, calm down. Yes, they say they hate you, calm down. Yes, they say Igbo man will not be present, calm down. We're all in Nigeria, the Robos, the Jaws, the Birams, everybody, even part of the Yorubas. They are saying that it is time this nonsense stop. Obasanjo is not an Igbo man, but he came out to make a presentation yesterday. I am not an Igbo man, but I've come, I'm making this, I'm fighting for just cause. I'm not fighting for you because you're an Igbo man. I'm fighting for you because justice, even if it were to be a Fulani man that is being maltreated, I will come out and fight for that Fulani man. Even if it's a Hausa man that is being maltreated, I will come out and fight for that Hausa man. Even if it's a Yoruba man that is being maltreated, I will come out and fight for that Yoruba man. Now it's an Igbo man, I will fight for the Igbo man. This rubbish that is taking place in this country must stop. It must stop. It must stop. This election will not stay. Cassava career, I cannot stand and be ridiculed by somebody who believes he has studied the art of criminality. And therefore he will beat his chest and say, well, I know how to play politics. No, sir. Tinubu, you fail. If you want, Tinubu, you no go. That associate, you won't climb it. If it means this country will catch fire, let it catch. This country, if it go burn, let it burn. Under this Tinubu, sure, you want fire. INEC, Professor Mahmoud, let me say clearly here now. I will end this video with you, man, Professor Mahmoud. It's a shame. It's a shame. A professorate title is the highest echelon of academic achievement. One who is ascribed professorate entitlement is one who shows that, well, you have understand the circle, the enclave of intellectual depth, and therefore, whatever you say in terms of logic and rationality is accepted. But when we begin to see a Nigeria that bring professors that tell lies to the Nigerian public, professors that read figures that makes no sense. I took time to study the figures of Ekiti State election, where total number of vote cast exceeds the total number of vote cast exceeds the total number of accredited voters, to the point that if you actually take the stock of votes in Ekiti State, it's more than number of votes accredited. Please tell me if Nigerian election has made room for our great-grandfathers, our forefathers, our dead heroes in the graves to come and vote. I'm sure the excess of the...
You see, when we say Nigeria is a beast that cannot be described, you can see the totality of that playing in this man called Magnus. maybe his name would have been Madman. Madness. This man is an epitome of stupidity, epitome of confusion, and epitome of slavery. He is not here, is not there. Now look at somebody who is telling those who house shops have been burnt to calm down. And he later comes up to say that they will burn down Nigeria. You see, when you begin to analyze, you can understand Nigeria when you look at Nigerians, the way they behave and the way they talk, the way they reason out things. It's obviously here now we see you see Nigeria playing out. Now look at somebody who Fulanis have been killing people, cutting their heads, and he's here telling us that he will defend Fulani if they are maltreated. He has not come to defend Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has been out there for almost 2 years now. He has not come out to defend those who have been kidnapped, killed in his bush where he comes from, killed in Oduduwa land, even for Sharanti's daughter that was killed and all of that. We never saw this man come all out to burn down Nigeria. He never came all out to defend those ones, but he's now coming all out to tell us that he can defend anybody who is being brutalized. Now let's look at it. He said that we shouldn't make this thing look like a tribal issue. It should be political. Now, for God's sake, what is politics? How do you play politics in a faulty structure and define politics to be true? Because politics is meant to be on justice, fairness, and good conscience when it is played on a structure that is clearly defined. Now, how can you be politically correct or politically nice or politically justified in the realm of justice now when you already have two structures under one platform called Nigeria? And every tribe in that contraption, almost all the tribes in that contraption, are tilted towards one part of the structure, and then one particular tribe using the concept of religion to work on other people of other tribes is on the other aspects of another part of the structure. What do I mean? If you go to the Nigerian Constitution, you have the Sharia law, and then you have the common law or the conventional law or the contemporary law. Now, this is the only place in the world where we have two structures for one focus. The Fulanis and everyone they have been able to convert into Islam are being governed by that part of the constitution called Sharia. And then the other ones who are Christians or whatever they call themselves are jostling for the other aspect of the constitution, which means that there's a political imbalance in the system. So which political problem is he talking about? If he says it's a political problem, then how do you resolve the political problem? Because of course, if he says it's a political problem, then he's correct. Because it is the political problem that makes the tribal problem very conspicuous. In the first place, you are loyal to your tribe first you are loyal to your tribe. That is why we talk about nationhood and loyal to nationhood. For instance, in the Nigeria pledge, yes, I pledge to Nigeria to be faithful, loyal, and honest, because they are making you pledge to a structure that is not existent, that is not real, that is illegal, because they understand that pledging to a particular format or a structure is very critical to the sustenance of that structure. But of course, in this regard, it is obvious that it cannot be sustained in the sense of Nigeria, because there is no defined and focused system that runs the affairs of the people based on their cultures and traditions. So which means that when you talk about political problem in Nigeria, you must fix the structure. That is the constitution. So if he is not stupid, then what he should have been talking about is referendum, trying to correct the political problem, not election. So you see that in his own sense of reasoning as a drunkard, all he sees is a political problem without understanding the details of the problem. Because the political problem comes first or comes from the structure, not from the election or from the activity that the structure portends or provides. Election is only an activity that the structure provides. But when you bring an activity on a structure that is not cut out for that activity, you will definitely have that activity destroy the structure. It's just like when you set a particular foundation that does not carry the force of the kind of house you want to build on it. It will crush, to crumble. So the political problem he is talking about here is not, it shouldn't be election. It should be structure. Then when you talk about structure, then it will now take you back to tribe. Because every tribe has a culture. And it is the culture that determines the structure. Then the structure now is run, when it is activated, it now makes things like election run very good and very effective. But here now he's saying that we shouldn't make it tribal. We should look at it as political. Now, how can you see it as a political problem without looking at the tribal side? Because when you want to solve this political problem, you will now look at the tribal side. That is why somebody like Tinubu would come and politicize not politicize now, and corrupt the NSAS program because he understands the strength of tribe. As soon as that was done, they said that the Igbos were destroying properties in Nigeria during the NSAS. They wanted to turn the Igbos against the Yorubas. Tinubu's program, and that's how the narrative came. They used that as a basis of destroying that protest and that concept of bringing down the zoo. I was part of that NSAS. I know what I saw. It was now turned to tribal war. Now, he's talking about political, not tribal. Now, when you bring up a material or a concept of a political arrangement, which should function on a proper structural base that is political, based on the structure that is called the Constitution. When you bring it into a template that is not structurally designed to carry it effectively, because when you talk about structure, you must talk about the tribes, because the tribes are the custodians of the cultures and traditions. It is from the cultures and traditions that they set up the structure. It is the structure that is called the Constitution. So if he says it is a political problem, then he should understand that it is also a tribal problem. That is where he's a drunkard. That is where he's not wise. But he's talking about being wise, but he doesn't understand the details of being wise. Now, because he's not wise, let me play another video of what he did. I'm still going to give him more analysis of what he said and the rubbish he was talking about. Let me play another video of him now fooling himself. you understand what I'm saying? Fooling himself. Now listen. Or what?
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Right now, I'm a very, very wounded person now. In fact, this country they call Nigeria is rubbish. This is the most useless country that my papa and mama born me inside. The most useless country. Most useless country. But a few people make this country useless. Very, very useless country. Plateau result, where Peter Obi sweep. Where Peter Obi sweep, now they tell say, Labour Party 460,000 APC. That means Peter Obi manage win. That's a big lie. INEC. How many times I call you now? 2 times. Make I add one, make it be 3. INEC. Okay. We'll come bomb the office down. DSS, police and army, Mona can arrest me. In fact, I I don't buy mattress where I go take sleep for any prison. I don't tell una say una cell, prison cell, open and very big, because the people you go arrest they go plenty. People you go arrest they go plenty. Plateau Resort, 1.2 million they go reduce that to 400,000. A whole 800,000 they cut and come out. Say Peter be win with just small. Plateau State, come, they don't, come, this poly unit here, this place, Sham, this place, now poly unit, make we enter, make we ask them, what is the result?
That they will return the figure.
No,
whether they like it
they don't be only here. Come now, you dey record on live, you dey live, Abi? Come, put on live. Wait now, me and una don't talk before. No. Me and una don't talk. No. What will be the result for this poll unit? What will be APC result for here? 27. PDP 36. Yes. Labour how much? 504. 500 only here alone. Only this place alone. Half a thousand. And so I personally went to each polling unit, about 30-something polling units.
They don't call the platoon.
Yes, now.
They don't call them.
I personally went through over 30-something polling units, and each polling unit.
They don't call the
for Plateau State, send 400,000. Not maybe 1.2 million. 1.2 million. We got so much this country. We got run. I swear to God, INEC. Make I be the first one of arrest. Come arrest me, oh.
Don't fire us.
I swear to God, you go arrest people there.
You go suffer for this town.
I tell you.
We are that my again. There you go die. Make thunder fire you.
Make I go drink my beer.
Now, did you hear the last thing he said? He said, make I go drink my beer. That's the last thing he said. He said, make I go drink my beer. Now, you see, when you want to describe Nigeria, there's so many things you want to say, but you just have to keep quiet. Now, first of all, let's look at him. That's why I say he's a drunkard. You see the way he's just behaving. I'm not saying he's a drunkard because I'm the one saying it. That's who he is. That's the truth. Now, he said that he was analyzing and giving description, analysis of the result. He now says he wants to go and ask those people the results. He goes there. He's still the one asking them. He's still the one answering. He's the one asking them how many did this thing here. He's the one still giving them answers. Now, I don't know. He's saying that they are going to burn. He has not started burning. This is about 2 days now since the results were announced. He has not started burning anything yet. I don't know. He says he wants to be arrested and he wants to burn down things. We have not seen him burn anything anyways. We are still waiting for him to burn. The last thing he said, make I go drink. Make I go drink my beer. Let me play it one more time so that you will understand what I'm saying. One more time.
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Right now, I'm a very, very wounded person now. In fact, this country they call Nigeria is rubbish. This is the most useless country that my papa and my mama born me inside. The most useless country. Most useless country.
You see, the problem about Nigerians is that they know that this thing is evil. This is going to destroy them. This is this and this is that. They will still hold on to it. That is, the Nigeria is a strange creature. Nigerians are a very horrible people with a mentality that is, I don't know how to describe it. It's Indescript. I don't know whether you guys are understanding this. This is a man who is talking about this is a useless, it's a very this, is this, that, this, complaining, and they keep complaining. The more you see them, the more they complain. They know how to complain, but prefer the solution. They tell you they don't need that solution. They tell you, please don't tell me that. That is not the solution. Now look at him now talking about political problem. He said the problem is not tribal. It's political. So don't let them get you involved in a tribal war or tribal fight. Now, when you come to politics, for instance, on what premise do you base politics? You base politics on the Constitution. On what premise do you base the Constitution? On tribe. Okay, let's not go direct on tribe. On what premise do you base the Constitution? On culture and traditions. On what premise do you base culture and tradition? On tribes. It is the tribes that make up or interpret the culture and tradition. That is their makeup, or that is what defines them. Every tribe is defined by their culture and tradition. And then the culture and tradition of the people is on that auspices of their culture and tradition. They create their governing rules, which is called the Constitution. Then the Constitution is what sets the structure for control of the nation, on which politics plays. Because it is on that Constitution you now create a government that will now keep the law of the Constitution, help sustain the law of the Constitution, or help in governing that nation based on that Constitution, which is made from the culture and tradition of that nation. So if he says it is a political problem, how then will you resolve the political problem? You will go back to tribe. You will go back to the tribes. The tribes must have their independence, their sovereignty, for them to now seriously sit down, define their constitutional program or structure, or define their constitution, because constitution also means structure. They will now sit down, define their constitution based on their culture and tradition. And then they can now set up a government that will now govern them based on that constitution that have been designed. How then do you want to solve the problem? Now, in the end, he said, let me go and drink my beer. Unserious human beings, very horrible people. Now, let me play one time. I think some of you need to hear this again. Just listen to him and listen towards the end. It's about 3 minutes plus. Listen towards the end what he said. Let me go and drink my beer. That is where it ends. That is where he's destroying Nigeria. That is where he's destroying. That is where he said they should come and arrest him. As he drinks his beer, he talks the nonsense and then says he's going to burn down everywhere. And then he goes to drink his beer. Now listen.
Hello, my name is Magnus Oraka. Right now, I'm a very, very wounded person now. In fact, this country they call Nigeria is rubbish. This is the most useless country that my papa and mama born me inside. The most useless country. Most useless country. But a few people make this country they useless. Very, very useless country. Plateau result, where Peter Obi sweep. Where Peter Obi sweep, now they tell say, Labour Party 460,000 APC. That means Peter Obi manage win. That's a big lie. INEC. How many times I call you now? 2 times. Make I add 1, make it be 3. INEC. Okay. We will come bomb the office down. DSS, police and army. Mona can arrest me. In fact, I don't buy mattress so I go take sleep for any prison. I don't tell when I say, when I sell, prison cell, open and very big. Because the people you go arrest, they go plenty. People you go arrest, they go plenty. Plateau result, 1.2 million, they go reduce that to 400,000. A whole 800,000, they cut and come out. Say Peter B win with just small. Plateau State, come, they don't, come, this poly unit here, this place, Sham, this place, now poly unit, make we enter, make we ask them, what is the result?
That they will return the figure.
No,
whether they like it or
not. Only here. Wait, come now, you record on live. You don't live, Abi? Come, put on live. Wait now, me and I don't talk before. No. Me and I don't talk. No. What will be the result for this poly unit? What will be the APC result for here? 27. 27. PDP 36.
Yes.
Labour how much? 504. 500 only here alone. Only this place alone. Half a thousand. And so I personally went to each polling unit, about 30-something polling units.
They don't call the continent.
Yes, now.
They don't call them. You just tontona.
I personally went through over 30-something polling units, and each polling unit.
They don't call the
for Plateau State, say now 400,000. Not maybe 1.2 million.
They just tontona.
1.2 million. We will support this country. We will run. I swear to God, INEC. Make I be the first one to arrest. Come arrest me, oh.
Don't fire us.
I swear to God, come you go arrest people there.
You go suffer for this town.
I tell you.
We are down my gen. There you go die. Make thunder fire you.
Make I go drink my beer.
Make I go drink my beer. Now, he enters into the polling unit. He said that's a polling booth or something, whatever they call it, polling unit. He now asked them, have I met you before? Have I talked to you before? Now, and you did not talk to them before, and you're asking them about the results. How do you know they are part of that place? How do you know they are part of that unit and they should know the result? He has not talked to them before. He cannot identify whether they are part of those who are part of the polling unit. He said he has not met them before, but he knows the result of that place. Then how did he get the results of that place? Because he's trying to give us an impression that he has not met those people before, but those people should have access to information about that particular polling unit. And then he goes there, he's putting the words in their mouth. How many be this one? He tells them. In fact, they don't know what to say, and he puts them out. And once he says it, they say what he said. Now, how do you say you came to me now? You are saying you have not met me before. Now you see that is the average style of the. Have you noticed some of these so-called ministries that do magic, that they want to make you believe that they know about you so much? They'll tell you that in your village, in fact, they'll tell you now that the pants you are wearing is red, that the bra you are wearing now is pink, that you live in so place and you have so number of children. They tell you so many things about yourself, and then you get so excited, and then they will now use that thing to extort money from you, and then they will begin to tell the members to bring their seed. People will be bringing seed because they say this man that can see like this. Now, do you know the strategy they use? Have you noticed the strategy they will do? The ones they call somebody out, the first strategy is this. Do you know me before? Have I met you before? The person will say no. Do you know me before? The person will say no. Have I seen you before? No. Have I talked with you before? No. Then they will now start their process. The same way also. Now, that is the strategy he's revealing here. He goes into a place. Now, we're not saying that the elections were, of course, we know that it was massively rigged. And we know that is the nature of Nigeria. Anybody who is surprised that it is rigged, that person should have their brains checked, because it is normal. It is the usual thing in Nigeria. What do you expect? That is what we expected. That is why last week Monday, I came here, I told you that this is who is going to win. It's going to be. We've been talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I've been saying it several times. I played the video, the audio the other time here, when he was saying that you voted in 1999, you voted until 2019. It was rigged. So we already know it's going to be rigged. But the problem here is this. You know all of these, and you still want to make a point, and yet you make a point trying to manipulate the same people that you're trying to make a point to. You manipulate them to still believe in what you know is wrong. Now, he was talking, oh my God. Now, he was talking about allies the other time. Now, he was saying that you need to make allies. How do you make allies? You make allies by having a mutual front for that ally, that allegiance, or that process of organizing your that front of being allies. You make the arrangement, and here now, the fact of making an ally here does not mean you endorse the Nigeria contraption. But he's talking about making allies, that the Igbos need allies. What allies is he talking about? Are you saying that we should endorse evil because we want allies? We already have allies. We have allies in the Oduduwa. We're in alliance. The Middle Belt and all that, we have allies there too. So talking about allies, what does he mean by allies? That's why I said something is wrong somewhere. what is he talking about allies? That means we should say yes, one Nigeria. That is when we talk about being allies. You see how they reason. Now, the day after the election, let's see something here. It's funny, but I just want to play this particular video. The so-called president-elect with the Mahmoud, the INEC chairman. INEC chairman went to his house and they were having a good time. Of course, it's been, and you see, Nigerians have seen this video, but they commonize. They just leave. It's one of. I don't mind that man. He's an idiot. Say he has bribed him. He has. Oh Lord, have mercy. How do we describe Nigeria? What?
This is what young people want to see. This is what young people want to see. They're not seeing you. Go.
Now you see the one wearing ash-colored cloth with black cap that is sitting at that extreme end. You see one pink-colored arrow or sign pointing towards him. He's the INEC chairman, and he's the one before the after the election. That night of the election, that was the day he went to this place. And we're already having now. How do you describe the? We're just trying to describe Nigeria. Let people understand the madness. I'm going to play it two more times so you can see the person I'm talking about. After Tinubu, there's another man sitting by Tinubu. The third person sitting at the other side is the INEC chairman. The third person sitting there eating and enjoying himself. And as the Tinubu is already dancing to his victory, even before the election result and everything. They've collected everything. They know who is going to come. They have already planned it. They know their program. It is designed. It is planned. It is well orchestrated to go that way. And yet we have people who want to endorse this because of the trauma on their mindset. I'm going to be talking about trauma maybe tomorrow or on Saturday. I'm going to be talking about trauma so that people can understand the level of trauma they are in, especially psychologically, based on the fact that they can still endorse this indescript beast that is killing them, destroying them. Now, do you know that even out of the whole interviews going on media, especially the Western media or the main media of the international communities, nobody was talking about the constitution. Nobody was talking about the people who are asking for a referendum. They're just talking about how would the incoming president sort out insecurity. These have been killed. Number of these have been killed. How would they do this? How would they be able to bring people together? These are the things they're talking about. What does that tell you?
This is what young people want to see. This is what young people want to see. They're not seeing you. Go.
Now, did you notice that Nigerians were being insulted in that place? Nigerians, I'm talking about Nigerians, not we Biafrans or other people who of the other. We're talking about Nigerians. Do you know what they said? That this is what the young people want to see. So they give you what you want to see. Go below and then dance and eat and enjoy. So they give you what you want to see. They give you this is what you want to see. You want to see that the man is a young man. Yes, he's a vibrant man. So this is what the young people want to see. They give you what you want to see to endanger your life, to put you in bondage, to destroy you. Because they know that you believe in Nigeria, you don't reason properly. I'll play it one more time. Listen to that voice. This is what the young people want to see. Listen to it one more time.
This is what young people want to see. This is what young people want to see. They're not seeing you. Go.
The future of people have been sold. Their destinies have been sold. Their lives have been sold. And yet they're endorsing this contraption. I don't want to talk about Britain and Co. today. I want to talk about the people so that they will begin to see the situation they are in. Look at how your destiny is being traded.
It's what we are doing. It's being determined to do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, snatch it,
Yes, sir.
and run with it.
Yes, sir. Jagaban. Jagaban. Yes,
This is a meeting that was held in diaspora where he was telling them how they should rig the election, how they're going to do it, the tactics. He was giving them the clue of how it is being done. This is how it's been done. It's not a hidden thing. The guy was videoing it, other people were videoing it, and of course, it's not a hidden thing. It's a normal thing. Grab it, snatch it, take it, and run with it. And the other, that idiot was saying, hey, Jagaban, yes, so Jagaban. You see, it is a norm. You see, where corruption becomes an epitome of description. I don't know how to describe it again. I'm lacking words. I don't know what to do. That's why I call it Indescript, because there are so many words I will use here that they don't satisfy my desire on how to describe Nigeria. Now you can imagine that before the election, people have seen this video. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody wrote petition. Nobody did anything about it. Nobody said, no, this is unbelievable. We can't continue this. We can't continue this. They were still fighting the people who are talking about their freedom. With their blood, they are still fighting the people who are talking about their freedom. Let me play it again one more time, or maybe two more times. Then people can understand what's happening there. I think people can understand now. Where he's telling them how the rigging is done. Fight for it, grab it, and then run with it. He was telling them how it's been done.
It's what we are doing. It's being determined to do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, snatch it,
yes, sir.
and run with it.
Yes, sir. Jagaban. Jagaban.
Now, if you notice, he had said some things before this coverage began. He had said something. Then you would have noticed it from the what he said. He said, "It's how we do it. You must fight for it. It's how we do it." That means he has been analyzing this thing, telling them how it has been, how Nigeria has been designed, how Nigeria is being operated. This is how it's been operating, and this is how it's been, functioning. You must understand this now. You guys are just coming into this thing. This is how it's been done. He was explaining to them and letting them understand how it's been done. Listen to the beginning of that. You will get the message of what he has been saying before this time.
It's what we are doing. It's being determined to do it at all costs. Fight for it, grab it, snatch it,
yes, sir.
and run with it.
Yes, sir. Jagaban. Jagaban. Yes,
Now, anybody who thinks that Nigeria is a place that they have to stay, a system that they have to sustain their lives, that will help them, that will get better, like people like Chimamanda, who is being used to deceive the people like Magnus, who is talking rubbish, and all those people who have been talking about Nigeria. I tell you that you are only just getting yourself messed up, your generation messed up, and you are only being stupid to yourself. I want to tell you, I just try to be calm today to talk about this so that people will reason along the line and play the videos I played. Normally, I don't want to play all this kind of videos. I just want to educate and teach. But I want people to see and get meanings out of these things, because we want to understand where we're coming from and where we're going. We really need a nation of sanity. We need a nation of political political uprightness, where we know that things that we do is defined by our culture and tradition, defined by who we are and what we are. How can you be governed by a strange thing? How can you be controlled by strangeness, by things that don't have description, that cannot be described? So evil to the point that you can't describe them. You know, if you go to the book of Daniel, as I told you when I began this broadcast, the book of Daniel chapter 7, you'll see when this indescript beast was described, talking about him having 10 horns and 7 heads, and then having iron teeth. And then you go to, of course, chapter 7 of Daniel, verse 7 and verse 8. Also, you see it in verse 17. You go to chapter, yes, and then you go to chapter 12 of Revelation. You know, you see there also. You go to chapter 13, verse 1 of Revelation. You see there. Go to chapter 17 of Revelation. Also, you see there. These things are described. The way they are described, you know, you begin to wonder at the level of how they look, how horrible they look. Nigeria is a horrible thing, a very horrible creature, and the more you talk about it, the more you lack words to explain it. Look at the horrible things happening. And I wonder why a normal human being would think that this kind of thing should govern their lives, govern their future. They want to continue in it. I wonder why somebody like Chimamanda would come up to BBC and to endorse this kind of thing and all of that. Also, I listened to Ngozi Konjo-Iweala, and, you know, oh Lord have mercy, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. We have to change this. We have to change this. We have to change this. Let me go to our messages. Mark Chi says, so why fighting for Igbos? Why fighting for Igbos who is not tribal? Why is he talking to the Igbos in particular instead of talking to themselves as Nigerians? Why narrowing it down to Igbos? That tells you that his message is not a Alessium Friday says in Nigeria will happen to Magnus Oraka. That's it. It will happen to him. Stella is laughing there. And then we have a message from, he said Biafrans should not drag Urobo into Biafra agitation. Stella Ozuka. That's what he said. That's how mad they are. You know, Magnus Oraka hates Igbos with passion. Yes, that's it. From Adazian. Thank you so much for that. Machi says the drunkard has said he's fighting for the Igbos, even when he said that the Igbos should not make it tribal. He's just a drunkard. That's why he's a drunkard. He has to say some stuff. Who even wants to have an alliance with a drunkard? He's talking about alliance anyways. He doesn't even know what alliance means. He thinks alliance means to say yes to Nigeria. That's what alliance. That's why he's a drunkard. Monkeys and bamboos dancing. That's who they are. They're dancing, but the truth about it is that the Nigeria apologists like them the way they are dancing and happy. Some of them will see the videos. Wow, Jagaban, look at that guy. I look at him, a young guy. Oh Lord have mercy, help us. Stereotype says it's not that their fault until Biafra is declared. Eyes won't open all of them. That's it, and we're going to declare Biafra soon. Well done, KC. You're doing well, Diko and Edward Uchechi. Agomo, thank you so much, Edward, my brother. Good to have you here. Once again, the Lord bless, prosper your good works. The Lord keep on strengthening you daily. Ise Mary K, thank you so much for that message. I appreciate you. Princess Ise says, good evening, brother. God bless all that you do. Ise, thank you so much. And God bless you too. Alessia Friday said we are in a big mess. Yes, we're in a big mess, but we'll get out of it. Definitely. Mad people everywhere. Edith says we're going to get out of it. We're going to get out of it, definitely. Diro Clifford says, what a comic display by an elected president. What a shame. It's part of it. That's why they say this is what the young people want. You know, it's part of it. It's part of it. It's okay. Let me see. The True Talk Margaret T says all hail Biafra. Yes, that's it. All hail Biafra, and that's what we're doing. That's why it says Chimamanda is a complete disgrace. Honestly, that lady has sold her soul because they have got her into the clique. You know, they bring you into the cult, into the clique, and you have to pay your allegiance will be to them, and everything they do is right. You must make sure that whatever you say must promote that British contraption and must sustain the contraption. Point out the things that is going wrong, point it in a way that it doesn't look very serious, but tell the people that they can do it better. They can get the best out of it. That's it. That's how it's done. Clement says, Kedu to you too, my brother. Thank you so much, Odema, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you, my brother Clement. Nigerian people are in a big mess. Edith Nedu says, and that's it. But we are winning. Any criminal can rule Nigeria. Anybody, as long as you're a criminal, you are eligible. Jerry, Mazi, and Kelechi, they will carry go. Jerry, Kenechukwu, thank you so much, Jerry. Kenechukwu, thank you. Adesanya says everything is pointing towards the fact that Obi was in league with the North. Yes, that's it. Was in league with the North. They understand everything. They understand. That's why you can go to bow to Atiku. That's why Shetima and Co are his friends. That's why they sit together, they talk. That's why somebody like Goodluck Jonathan will go and congratulate him. And you'll be surprised that Peter Obi has called them also secretly to congratulate them. And they'll come openly to tell you that Nigerians have spoken, but their mandate have been taken from them. We need to challenge this in court, blah blah. But he has called Tinubu, he has congratulated him. That's nice. And called Atiku. Yes, the job is on. We continue. That's it. That's what they do. We must ban Britain from our land for slavery and supporting evil when Biafra comes, and from our oil and gas. We can only restrict them. We can stop them from stealing our resources. We can do business with them, but we cannot. Of course, there are some things that you cannot really do. You can ban them from your land. If you ban them, they will set you up. So what we need to do is that we must make sure that we apply put a structural system that will deprive them of stealing our resources, and making sure that if they want to do anything with us, it's going to be by business, and that business must favor us, not this kind of hanky-panky, this kind of evil that is going on all over the nations of the world. I don't know what you want to describe Nigeria as, but I know that Nigeria is an indescript beast. No matter what you call Nigeria, no matter what you say about Nigeria, no matter what you call Nigeria, no matter how you mention and try to name it, the truth about it is that Nigeria is indescript, cannot be described. You cannot find the right word to describe it, because it is horrible. It is so horrible to the point that it cannot be described. The more you describe it, the more you lack words to describe it, and that's why it's so indescript, and all of that. Nondescript, cannot be described. And that is the situation. That is why the people who are Nigerians are in trauma. They keep doing the wrong thing, endorsing the wrong thing, and saying the wrong thing, and fighting the wrong cause, and of course dying for the wrong cause, and at the same time fighting those who have come to redeem them, fighting those who have come to save them. But today we're declaring that evil will be destroyed, and we are mandated to destroy it, and we will do everything we have to do to destroy it. We must establish a true Africa, true nation of people who are determined to have their future, and who are determined to get life better and get posterity to take control of destiny. We are determined to make Africa great. We are determined to destroy the shackles of this slave chain. Somebody was saying that I'm shining the golden chain. It's not the golden chain, it is a chain. In fact, the shackle that is being used to hold Africa is a rusted chain. It can be broken, but yet the people refuse to break it. The people's minds have been beclouded. Their mind have been destroyed. That rather than break it, they see the rust. They look at the rust, and they see the rust. They wish the rust can be healed and be restored so that it can hold them down. In fact, they see the rust as another color of gold. They don't want to be free, but we have come to free ourselves and free the nations in the contraption and free Africa. Black people who call themselves black people, remember, you are not black. You are only, your skin is brown colored or whatever, but they call you black because they want you to look evil. They want you to look down on yourself. They want you to see yourself as less than nothing. They want you to see yourself as evil and as somebody who is of darkness. And they call themselves white because they want you to see them as righteous and as the ones who own you and all of that. So that is why we're telling you today, we are not blacks. We have come to redeem ourselves. So wherever you are in the world, wherever you are, as long as you're an African, and as long as you are brown in color and maybe milk in color and all of that, you are going to be free. And that is the work we are doing here on this platform. And we all must take this mandate seriously and know that our freedom is in our hands, because there's no way. I was listening to the president of Mauritius and Mauritania yesterday evening, and he said something critical. And you know that these Mauritanians have come to our land, and people like that man Galadima or whatever his name is, and his people, they have come to cause terrorism. They cannot do that terrorism in their land. You know why? The president of Mauritania has put down structures. He said critically. Do you know what he said? He said that his forces, his military, is fighting the terrorists, fighting them. He said something. He said these terrorists are heartless. They operate heartlessly. And to deal with them, you must have the political will, 1. 2, you must operate in that level of heartlessness with them. That is why in Mauritania today, they are not terrorizing, in spite of the fact that they are in Mali and other surrounding nations. They are not in Mauritania. They are not terrorizing Mauritania. You know why? The military of Mauritania has got the will, and engaging them in that level of madness that they brought. I said, wow, this is the man who understands this. He said they are engaging them in that level of their madness. That's what the president of Mauritania said. So you know what happens? All the terrorists, since they cannot take over their government and all of that, they are all coming into the zoo because they believe that it is part of where Allah has given to them. Once they once they grab Nigeria, they can now be able to conquer others like Mauritania and all of that, because they will come with a stronger might. You know, that's what they want to achieve. And we will not allow them. We will not allow them. Yes, Lenora, I was wondering where you went. I didn't see you again. I didn't see your message. Good to have you back. But now that I'm rounding off, good to have you back. You said in this message, Black Oko. They asked me first, what's your tribe in Nigeria? Black Oko. What's Black Oko? They only ask what's your tribe in Nigeria. Okay, I'm trying to. Mauritania and Eritrea brought the angry Islam. Yes, I'm trying to understand what you're saying here. They only ask what's your tribe in Nigeria. You said Black Oko. What's Black Oko? I'm trying to understand that so that they can understand the statement in full. So please send a message that will, do that. Very, very, very true. Stella Uzuka says, and that's the truth. I was listening to the president. Even this morning, I heard him saying the same thing. They repeated that in broadcast. You know, he said, you must match them with that force they're coming. He said they are very heartless. They are very ruthless. If you want to defeat them, match them with that level of ruthlessness. Don't just the way they came with terrorism, follow them with the mindset of terrorism. In fact, in a higher dimension. You know, yes, they brought this and all of that, but yet in their land, their forces understand the language and they're dealing with them with that language. But we are playing hanky-panky. You know why? It's not because our people don't know this. It's not because Britain doesn't know this, but because it is intended to conquer the indigenous people. And that's it. I said black, call yellow knee. Okay, that's what you're trying to say. Okay, I understand. Black or yellow knee. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say now. That's it. Mazi Nnamdi, good evening. Diana Obumbiade, thank you, my Oduduwa sister, for joining. Thank you so much. I'm going to end this broadcast here because it's already 2 hours. Tomorrow we're going to go extensively. I wish, oh my God, I wanted to make a plan for tomorrow so that we can have the Oduduwa here, but I've not been able to contact them. I was supposed to contact them. I forgot all through today. So let me see if it's possible to contact them, if it's possible to contact this night and see how tomorrow will be and whether they will be with us tomorrow, you know, because we have to talk about what has happened so far and how we're going to move forward and how we're going to be going from now henceforth. We are going to get our freedom and nothing will stop us. Nidu, thank you, Edith Nidu, for saying he said to that. And that's what we're doing, and together we shall get this freedom. And I assure you that you must keep fit. Don't mind people like Magnus, don't mind these people who have come to Brentwood. Don't mind, even if those ones who are still holding on to Nigeria, even if they are dying, they want to hold on to Nigeria. Even whatever is happening, they believe they want to hold it, they want to die in Nigeria. Leave them. We keep preaching to them, we keep talking to them, but if they refuse, we'll leave them. They will perish, and then we will get to the freedom. That's what happens. When God gives you freedom, you refuse to get into freedom, you will perish. And so those who embrace it will embrace it and get to it. So please share this video. Let the people hear this message. Share it so far so that people can be part of this message and hear the truth from this platform. I want to thank you for watching. I want to say, no matter how, whatever Nigeria brings, we are going to be free, and we'll be free indeed. We know that everything they push to us, everything they bring to us is meant to bring us closer to our freedom. That's how God has arranged it. So whatever they do will work against them. They have planned and done their political calculations, but it will work against them. And that's the fact. So I want to appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, all your messages and all of that. I can't call your name one after the other, but I want to appreciate everyone who have sent a message, and those who have not sent messages, who are still watching, who are watching from there. I appreciate you too. Please share far and wide on all social media platforms, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. We need to build and grow so that we can reach out to more people and get the world to hear the truth, because Biafra Global Network is designed for the truth, nothing for the truth, and we'll keep preaching the truth until Biafra comes. And after Biafra comes, we'll keep preaching the truth. We'll be watching over our nation to make sure that we'll speak to power and make sure that the people do the right thing. The people who are going to vote for in Biafra, the people who are going to be occupying offices and places. We're going to be doing lots of investigative work on this platform. As when Biafra comes, you will see that we're going to be like a watchman for Biafra people on this platform. I tell you, We are going to be a watchman in this channel. We are going to be going to the government agencies. We're going to be going to the government departments. We're going to be going to the government itself. We'll be watching out for any criminality that is creeping in from Nigeria into Biafra. We're going to be exposing them. We will make sure that we fight criminality and corruption, hands down. It's risky business, but we're going to do it because that's what we're mandated to do. Stazukas, thank you so much. Stay blessed too. Thank you so much, my sister, for being here. God bless you too, Vicky. Enyina, thank you, Vicky. Enyina, good to have you today again. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Meet you tomorrow, same time, Biafra time. 4 p.m. Biafra time or 5 p.m. Biafra time, based on, you know, I don't know, I can't make it stable now. 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. Biafra time, we're going to be here. So if you check 4 p.m. Biafra time, we're not here. Then check 5 p.m. Biafra time, we're going to be here. But if anything makes us so late, I'll make sure that as long as Simon will not come to broadcast, you know, I will make sure that I am here. Yesterday I wanted to come in. I actually finished late. I wanted to come in, but I discovered that most of our people were on Twitter Space, you know, with Mazi Nnamdi, so I didn't bother to come on. I wanted to come in late at night anyways, but that's why I couldn't come. So thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you so much, Alenora. Thank you so much. Thank you too. I appreciate you. Clement says, you know, the world must stand by Biafra. This time, if we are waiting for the world to stand by Biafra, never. They won't, because they can't. They want to steal, so they won't. You know, they won't stand by Biafra. Remain blessed, Alenora. Thank you so much, and you too. Remain blessed. Thank you so much for being here and supporting also all the time. Obichuku says, remain blessed, my brother Casey. Thank you so much, Obichuku. Good to have you. Good to see your message here. I appreciate you all. God bless you. Real.